BTS is calling out the Grammys, and their reason is a very good one. Here's everything we know. BTS made headlines when all 7 members of the group, RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook, all posted the same statement on their individual Instagrams within minutes of each other. The message being that they are not submitting their music for consideration at the 69th Grammy Awards. The group stated that they want their music to be heard and loved for what it is, not divided by region or language. Well, what does this all mean, and why is the timing so important? For starters, right now is BTS's comeback to the music industry after they all just finished their mandatory military service and dropped their 5th album, ARIRANG, in March of 2026. The album hit #1 on the Billboard 200 and topped the charts in 23 countries, the UK, Germany, Japan, all of them. So this move to take a step back from the Grammys isn't because they're struggling, they're making a lot of noise and are at the top of their game. So what actually triggered this? Well, in June, the Recording Academy quietly rolled out 5 new Grammy categories, including one called Best Asian Pop Music Performance. And the catch in the fine print for this category is that it requires meaningful use of an Asian language to qualify. So on paper it sounds inclusive, right? But here's the plot twist. BTS's massive English language hit Swim, which hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, wouldn't even qualify for that category. So fans are reading BTS's statement about region or language as a direct call out of that rule and of the Grammys. And the BTS army are not holding back, rightfully so. One fan told CNN that it feels like the category was built to keep BTS out of the bigger, more prestigious categories, basically sidelining Asian artists into their own lane. And others are calling it musical segregation. However, it is important to note that the Grammys have done region-specific categories before. They've had Best Latin Jazz Album, Best African Music Performance, and others. And those categories already exist every year, so the Academy's defense is basically, we've always done this, which is a slap in the face to major artists with worldwide multi-language appeal like BTS. And we have seen this before with BTS now joining a pretty exclusive club of artists who've called out the Grammys directly. Back in 2021, The Weeknd had 0 nominations despite it being one of his biggest years of his career. Blinding Lights was still sitting in the Billboard Top 10 a year after release and being the most streamed song on Spotify of all time. The Weeknd then told the New York Times that he'd stop letting his label submit his music to the Grammys at all, pointing directly at the Academy's secret nomination committees. The Grammys then tried to reconcile with him by having him perform at the 2025 ceremony, but then snubbed his album Hurry Up Tomorrow shortly after with another 0 nominations. And so the accusations of corruption continue. Big artists having big years getting snubbed anyway, of course they're gonna boycott. The Grammys say they're making room for Asian artists, but BTS is saying that that room feels like a completely separate room. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and follow me to stay up to date on all things pop culture.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Yeah. Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Oh, picket lines and picket signs, don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see what's going on. What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Oh, what's going on? Right on. Right on. Right on. Everybody thinks we're at home. Oh, but if they judge us simply cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find. Bring some understanding here today. Oh, oh, oh. Pick it loud and pick it sound. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on, talk to me. You can see what's going on. Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. Right on, right on. Right on. Right on.
Alrighty, good morning, good evening, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's your nighttime, right time DJ Music, and welcome to another episode of the Music Chronicles. Y'all see what we're talking about today. One of these groups that's taken by the world by storm decided to call out the Grammys. And I see over here that someone said that they're not able to chat in the mainstream. Let me maybe I need to go and change the settings or something like that. Hello, Shar. Hey there, ABT. Welcome to all the folks that's tuning in. I'm not sure exactly why you folks are not able to chop it up over there, but I'll try and figure out something. I don't know what I might have done wrong over there, but we'll get something up. And let me pull this up here, and let me let you folks listen to. All right, so let me go and see if I can fix that there, folks. And in the meantime, let's check out some BTS right here. Okay, let's do this. Let me take this off the screen, then I'll come over to YouTube and see if I can fix that particular one there, because I would love to know your folks' comments, and I want to make sure I get them all corrected there. Again, hello to everybody tuning in, wherever you're tuning in from. Little music thing for you today there. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and do this. Let me play another track here, and let me go over to YouTube, and I'll see if I can fix that right quickly.
Get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Your life. Run up when you see me, no disguises. Keep that thing with me, cause I don't do surprises. J Chanel, show and tell, all facts, no lies, streak. Get your life, cause I'm the type to come to it that 9 quick. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. Get your life. Get your life, baby. I got my why you can serve my mind, baby. Feeling me, that's why they killing me, lately. if you don't know, I'm a little bit cray-cray. Approach me, you better be right. If you don't come correctly, you can catch these cans tonight. Eyes on me, what you care for? Watching me, baby, care for. If you ain't a fan, where the cameras? Hide in the back with the bellboys. My circle's so restricted. Hands raised like it's your religion. When I sleep, pay close attention. Fake friends out here pretending. Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got mine, why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Get your life.
Get your life, get your life, get your life. Baby, I got mine, why you can serve my mind. Baby, feeling me, that's why they killing me. Lately, get your life.
Get your life, boo.
Yes, indeed. Get your life, get your life. I think we're all squared away over there in the other part of the section. Everybody, are you able to type in the regular chat over there? I went in. I think I might have adjusted the settings the wrong way. So just want to make sure everybody's good to go. Let me get on along with this here, folks. You see what we're talking about on the screen here. BTS snubs the Grammys. You know, I've been an avid fan of the Grammys for quite some time now. So from the days of the Michael Jackson snub, I remember the album Bad. How many Michael Jackson in that particular album was nominated for 4 Grammys that year? Walked away with, I think he might have walked away with 1, and it had nothing to do with the real music. I think it was for the best engineering of a video, Leave Me Alone. I do believe that's what the Grammy was for on that one. He lost album of the year. No disrespect to YouTube, not YouTube, but U2. You know, it's Bono and all of those. But how does that album, Bad, lose album of the year to Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, the Joshua Tree? Sorry, folks. Sorry. We still listening to Bad, but you know, you got to be a real fan to go and dig up one of the songs from the Joshua Tree. You know, I can only remember one real good song from off that particular album. You know, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. You know, now I started this stream out with probably one of the most iconic songs of all time, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Think about that song. Not even a Grammy for that song. Marvin Gaye did not get a Grammy until his Sexual Healing album, folks. He had almost semi-retired, made a comeback. Understand that. Made a comeback, and he got a Grammy for singing about the horizontal bump in the boudoir. Not about Mercy, Mercy Me, the ecology. Not about What's Going On. Not for Here, My Dear. Not for all those classic tunes. Go check out Prince. Go check out all the artists that the Grammy snubbed because they wanted, dare I use this, their favorite artist to be recognized. And I think BTS in a way reignited the fire under those people that been saying this for years. So far, we've only really had 21, 22, 23 artists that really took a stand to it. But with this global phenomenon, this group that they call BTS, and I got to shout out these young kids, they had to do their military service. And then came back and still pop stars. Global pop stars. Their recent CD that they put out, I think they released it in March. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. So for those of you who want to come up and talk about the Grammys or who want to join in the conversation, you're more than welcome to. I'll drop the link down in here, and we'll chop it up about the Grammys and about a few other things, the snubs, the dubs, and some of the music of this group here that put the Grammys on blast. It's about time that they did. Way back when in the 1920s, what they did is they called it race music. And if you folks go back to Cadillac Records, that's a good movie, good reference for you. The Cadillac Records were Muddy Waters and all those was making waves. Or we can even go back to some of the lesser known folks, like the guy that I'm trying to think of his name. He sings "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?" Lawrence Tate played him over there. I don't know why I can't think of his name, but before that's what they used to do. They would play our music, but not put our faces on it. So what do you think is going to go on now with the same doggone thing? And unfortunately, just like in the United States of America, we have to go to other countries for people to understand what we're talking about. But in this case, Frankie Lyman, that's it. Thank you, Candy Cane Lane. How you doing? Frankie Lyman. But just think of all the great artists like Elvis Presley's Hound Dog. Folks didn't know for years that the original song was created by Big Mama Thornton. And you got these folks way back in 1959. These folks got together and decided that we were going to congratulate ourselves for putting out good music. But they also decided to say, yeah, this is like a, dare I use the word, limited strict club. Until you had to start recognizing great artists. You had to start recognizing great music. You had to start. But what the Grammys did, and I think what BTS is calling out, although the music that they're putting out is universal and worldwide, they're trying to pigeonhole them into best Asian music. Same thing they did with us. Best race music, best urban contemporary music. Y'all remember back in the day when Young MC won the Grammy for best new rap song with Bust a Move? Come on. In 1988 and 89, the best new rap song was Bust a Move. I mean, it was a good song. It was a catchy song. But there was a whole lot more better songs out there during that time. So a lot of people call out the Grammys for, I'm going to use the word, favoritism. Again, how could Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On, Mercy, Mercy Me, and all these good songs not be recognized by the Academy, by the Grammy Awards? How could Michael Jackson's Bad album did not win Album of the Year? How? That's what it was. That's what it was, Shar. It was a song about a no good dude, nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. But anyway, folks, if anyone wants to come up and join in the conversation here, let's, since BTS brought up the conversation, let's find out exactly who these guys are. All right, let me take this off the screen here, and let's see who this group of young men are. Now, this might be something that I might have to cover on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis here on the Music Chronicles, because something tells me we have not heard the last of this. So, over this one first.
It's one of the hottest and most successful groups on the planet, but now the band says it is boycotting the next Grammy Awards, seemingly over the Academy's newly added category for, quote, Best Asian Pop Music Performance. Emily Curl with Entertainment Tonight has more on what's behind the move. Emily, good morning.
Hi, good morning. BTS has spent more than a decade breaking through language barriers. Its new album, ARIRANG, was expected to be a major Grammy contender. Now, BTS's decision not to submit its new music is reigniting debate. Can a new category celebrate the music while dividing the broader community by region and language?
From blockbuster stadium shows to a slew of #1 hits, BTS has broken barriers and built a global army of the most dedicated fans. After a years-long hiatus to fulfill their mandatory military duty, their much-anticipated reunion tour will skip music's biggest night. All 7 members now posting the same message separately, that they will not submit their music for Grammy consideration, adding, "We hope our music can be heard and loved for what it is, rather than being divided by region or language."
I think BTS is trying to say that we want to see our music considered on a similar playing field as other artists. We don't.
Jeff
need
Benjamin
to
covers
push ourselves
K-pop and
to
is a
this one
contributor at
specific
Billboard,
category.
and he says their withdrawal is likely connected to the Grammys' creation of Best Asian Pop Music Performance.
Because on one hand, it would seem to be a message towards inclusion and representation. But also, when someone has been over competing, to be honest, on that level, and then they still seem like they'll probably get delineated to a separate category, it feels like a bit of a slap in the face.
Grammy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. released a statement Wednesday saying he's saddened BTS has chosen not to participate. Earlier this week, he spoke about the new category on a podcast.
We just introduced the Asian Pop Performance category. And the reason we put those categories in is so we can honor the music and so we can show respect to that music because it's happening, it's popping, and we want to make sure it's part of what we're doing.
Okay, if it's happening and it's popping, why did you just why if it's not broke, why fix it? Hey, ABT, how you doing? Welcome in.
Shit music. Okay, maybe I need to go on. Maybe I need to.
What happened?
Because they Asian. What's the problem? That's how I feel. I'm like, well, they're Asian. What's the problem? What's the problem?
I think it's a little bit it's a little bit broader than them being Asian. I think unfortunately for me, I won't say unfortunate, but I think it's good that somebody, in this case, because they are they're a global phenomenon. So whether they're Asian, they appeal to a lot of people worldwide. So I guess the best thing to do sometime is, when you got somebody that's leading the pack, that's changing the chemistry and the genre of music. Maybe it's time to step on a few toes, make a few people uncomfortable. And I think that's what these young kids are doing.
Well, this is your realm, right? I don't listen to it, so I don't really know. I guess some of the younger adults are probably more into it than I would be.
Yeah. We took your Motown and 80s and 90s music.
And can't ever compare.
Right.
So I'm biased. Okay, I'm biased. That's why I said maybe I need to go and sit down somewhere.
I got you.
Because to me, they're, are they even giving credit to? You'll have to educate me. Do they give credit to who inspired them and all the things?
Oh, you'd be surprised what I found out. And welcome to the show, Prism. How are you? How are you? Come on in.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
So,
Your thoughts so far?
On the whole issue?
Yeah, on the whole issue.
You want me to be politically correct, or you want me to just go ahead and come straight off the hip?
Shoot from the hip, baby.
Shoot from the hip. Shoot straight from the hip.
Street style shit.
Uh-oh. That long pause means something coming.
Well, you know what I mean? I'm like... So
listen, I'm biased, so it's all good.
Yeah, the music industry has this type of ghettoization where it's kind of been going on for a long time. And like Mr. DJ Music was talking about, how initially the concept with the Grammys from 1959, there was already this type of segregation between the sounds of African-American music in America versus white counterparts in the industry. So I know that in 1959, the very first initial concept of the Grammys, one was held on the East Coast and one was held on the West Coast, which was really unusual. And I didn't find out any information because I started reading a whole lot when I came up with this, talking about this thing going on with BTS. It's like it's everywhere right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to bring some other information to the commentary, and I'm hoping, and I don't want it to become off as a know-it-all as much as it is kind of our experiences, probably as African Americans, people of color, in industry and what's going on politically. I think it all ties in together, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think that BTS, with their, I guess you want to call it a soft boycott of the Grammy Awards, is very revolutionary for people our age. I think it's a big stance to say that that they're more than welcome to perform and use their performances to bring the audiences into social media, and everybody's watching the Grammys because they know they're going to be there. Mm-hmm. And then for you to kind of say, yeah, we love you, we like your music, we think you guys are great, but we just kind of want you over here, but not here. That's the kind of feeling it had when they announced this whole Asian category. But it's like common for Black Americans because we've seen it before. We saw it with B when she had all of these great albums, and she's been nominated for the Album of the Year 6 times. And then the 6th time she does a country album, and that's where she gets her Grammy. Okay. So then they create this whole contemporary country award and then traditional now. So it's just, this is what it is. It's kind of like a segregation. I just want to put that there.
Absolutely it is, and that's why I decided to talk about this, because that's the main reason why this group decided to say, you know what, you're not going to pigeonhole us. We know what's happening just because of what we've done and what we've looked at in the past. I think these doing my research, I found a little bit about these kids. Well, let me ask you, both you ladies here, have you listened to these guys' music before?
No, I ain't heard a stitch, child. I ain't heard a stitch. I told you, I might need to go on and sit down somewhere. I ain't heard a stitch. Yeah,
you're good. You're good.
So yeah.
What about you, Prism? Go ahead.
So what I consider myself ARMY is what their fandom is called.
Yeah.
They're called ARMY. So what I consider myself ARMY. I think I'm a fan. Yeah. I listen to their music. I love their music. I'm probably not as, what do you want to call it, zealot as a lot of the fandoms and stuff, but I definitely follow their music. I definitely follow them on social media. So yeah, I listen to a lot of their music. So yeah, I would consider myself a fan. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, to be quite honest with you, I mean, I really haven't. I did a deep dive into their music, but from being a radio station owner and a DJ, of course I checked them out, and I got to say personally, I put them in rotation. The music is pretty good.
Yes,
I would definitely say that. And there's one particular song that I was listening to. I think we talked about it, Body to Body.
Yes.
So you have the history on that, Prism. So tell me about it a little bit.
So from the understanding of Body to Body, if you guys want to tune in to Netflix has their comeback tour on there, as well as a documentary with the group of how they built this concept and all the music around their album ARIRANG. Okay. So when the initial concept of ARIRANG came out, there was a video that was aired all over social media. It was kind of like this, what do you want to call it? A mashup of the pending, I guess you want to call it, video of their pending ARIRANG album, whatever. There seemed to be kind of like a backlash because the person, I guess, who created this video, historically, if you understand ARIRANG, it is a unofficial anthem for for Koreans, okay? And from the story that's been told for years and eons is that 7 gentlemen, students, came from Korea. They were not accepted in like Harvard and Yale and all of these historically, I have to say it, Caucasian colleges. Well, the college that took those 7 gentlemen in was the Howard University. And it was from Howard University, from what we understand, the history, that there were African-American families, other teachers, professors, and all those who surrounded themselves around these Korean young men. And even though they didn't speak the language, they were there in their lives, helping them, feeding them, and being one with them, like a family, like a community, of which African-American people have always been. And they initially did the very first recording of ARIRANG right there at Howard University. I think the lady's name was, let me think, I just can't think of her name. Let me think. I can't think of her name. Blah, 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 blah. Don't mind me. I'm just thinking a whole bunch of things.
No worries, because I mean, I don't remember her name either. But okay, I think this. Go ahead. Her name
is Alice Fletcher. So she did the very first initial recording with these 7 gentlemen of the ARIRANG. Okay, and it's supposed to mean beautiful, longing for your country, and it's really, honestly, the way that they've incorporated that song into Body to Body. And I believe the initial concept from the Seoul Summer Olympics at that time was Hand to Hand, and they took it to a new level and said Body to Body. And in the middle of the song, there's a breakdown of the song, of the folk song ARIRANG. And I think that when I was initially there and going on, when they did the first video concert, and when I first heard it, I think I started crying, because it was such a beautiful celebration of oneness, of unity, of community, of love for their nation and the people around them. And literally, it would probably be like being transported back in time, of them singing, those 7 gentlemen singing and recording that first song around, probably, I would imagine there were probably other people around of all multiple colors at that time. So, and so with ARIRANG, let me say this. When I started hearing it and I knew what I felt, and I felt that energy with other Korean nationals at that time during the concert. And when I started watching how they started going on their tour, and how every time there was that part of the song that you could hear in one voice, that celebration of their culture. And that thought came to me, oh my God, that's going to be a problem in America. So,
and I know exactly.
Well, I was gonna.
Go ahead, ABT.
Why do you think it was gonna be a problem in America with which group?
Well, I have a tendency, because I'm in my I guess early 30s, so I have a tendency to think about the political leadership that's in our country right now. Probably if it had been somebody like Kamala Harris, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation as much. But because of the air of segregation that's going on, and the reining back of civil rights and voting rights and women's rights that are going on with this type of regime that's going on under the Trump administration. I think that anytime, with this whole move, that we have a sitting national president that's literally saying that we're going to take away this. We're going to remove these type of artifacts from the Smithsonian. We're going to take this out, and because there's no longer going to be any equality or equity, what we're going to do is we're going to have this nation. Everybody's going to be patriotic. No blackness, no nothing. It's just this. You're not going to be integrated anymore. You're just going to assimilate. You're going to lose your identity of who you are, and you're going to be us, but still beneath us. You're going to follow. And it's kind of like this type of thing going on right now with the Grammys. It's kind of like we want you to assimilate to our music and our culture, but we don't want you to integrate. We don't want to. It's okay that we sing and we like your music and everything, but we're just not really sure that we want to kind of open the door for millions and millions of people to be singing your national anthem. I think that
right. So that's how whites are, right?
Right.
And this is white people making it clear, as they've always done so, that everybody else is other if you're not white.
Yes.
But then you see how, particularly with the Asians, lots of support for Republicans. And because they also identify, right, with certain practices, as long as it doesn't impact them negatively. I think the other part of this, though, too, is Asians have been outpacing white folks. Like when you look at who's making, you look at who's making more money, Asians have been outpacing white folks. And so this is their way to sit them down a little bit. But they've always been like this. We always try to tell people, right? You don't want to align with them. That's not really who you want to put your support behind. But they do.
Well,
anyway.
Hold on. So in the 2024 election, the age demographic from 18 to 24, 72% voted for Kamala Harris. The 30-year-olds to 44-year-olds, 59% voted for Kamala Harris. For age groups 45 to 64, 61% Asians voted for Kamala Harris. For 65 and up, it was 65 as well. So there was
okay.
So they did
right.
Historically they have always voted majority for the Democratic Party in America.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. But okay, I'm gonna give it to you.
So
I think that so have you seen them like when it comes to the protesting and stuff, like where have they been? Because I feel like they've been silent on a lot of issues. They very outspoken, or
so are we talking about Americanized Asians, or are we talking about
the ones that are here?
So we still historically we've seen them voting on the Democratic ticket. But I think that I think there's been I think there are pockets of things that are going on politically in America that with the whole Rick Child case, I think that one of the things that I probably have the biggest issue with is this type of mindset that if one or two Asians have a opinion about a certain thing, it's the whole group. And I don't even think that we would like it if because we have Brandon Tatum and we have Angry Man and we have all these people, and we are definitely not like
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I do know that, they are the constant following of all Black folks in their stores because of one or two Black people or smaller, numbers of our population that's into boosting and stealing and all of that. Like we end up bearing the brunt of their actions, and we don't like it. We don't like it. We get constantly followed in their stores. I mean, we got movies making jokes about it. it's not something that, we like, but it happens. It happens. So yeah, it's go ahead, music.
I think for me, I'm looking at it on I guess on a double-sided coin there, ladies, because I've been to some of the Far East countries, and in my personal experience, the folks that are here, as Prism called them, the Americanized Asian community, I think they're more tending towards that as the words we used, assimilation. Whereas if you go to the actual countries now, I can say I've been to Korea, I've been to Japan, I've been to a few other places, but the same, what word I want to say, the same thing, that same way they treat us here is completely different in their country. And I guess you have to be there to experience it. And this is no shot at the Asian Americans here, but for me, as someone Black, I definitely noticed the difference in their, their interactions with us, if that's the best way to put it. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I just noticed a difference.
And that's not
been my experience. Do these people come from the same group of people that got them dolls? Them baby dolls, them black baby dolls, and you see how they treating them. Even if, I'm not really, Africans can fight for their own issues, but you see how what they've been doing to the children on the continent is really insane. So
can we kind of like, okay, so let me say this. Racism, prejudice, and discrimination
is everywhere.
Is everywhere, and it's not. That is, and we need to understand this. While we understand as people of color and African American people that we have had historically a different experience because of our great and great great greats grandparents in America. We also have to understand, and which is why I brought up this whole conversation about ARIRANG and Korea and Howard University. One of the things that I feel like is that we really do not give our own individual experiences a chance as much as we do about what we've seen on social media.
The collective.
I've never experienced anything racist, even in America, from any person that's Asian, as well as overseas where I am right now. I've never had any problems. And let me say this, with the culture in America, the reason why a lot of people think assimilation and integration are the same things, and they're not. When I live overseas, and I'm taking my time to stay over here because of what's going on, when you're in America, it is a forced assimilation to be a certain way, to react a certain way. The big thing is getting married, having kids, 304 culture, and all these different things that keep getting placed on the shoulders of Black women. Okay. And where I can go over and live in where I am currently, and I don't feel like I have to disappear. I can authentic, and it's a shame. I feel safer in Korea than I did in the United States of America. I hate to say that, but I do. I don't feel safe at all when I'm home in America. I don't. As a woman, I don't feel safe. Here, I feel safe. And I'm not, because I don't have to assimilate to anyone. I can integrate, which means I can bring authentically who I am as a woman of color and embrace their culture and love their culture, as well as explore their food, their literature, their architecture, their art, their readings, their religions or not religion. I can do all of those things and absolutely feel free and no pressure at all. So, but in America, I have that weight that's always on my shoulder, upholding community, upholding this, taking care of this, doing this, making sure if you're not married by 35, oh my God, if you're not this, that culture over in America is too pressurized for somebody in their 30s. And that's why, okay. And I'm pretty sure that if I've taught, of course, I interact with people in Korea that are my age, and I have friends that are married to nationals in Korea, nationals, and everybody has different stories. But one of the things that I made my decision was that I'm going to live my life by learning people for themselves individually, not
And you
as
know, you should though. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all, right? And I'm not saying that that's like the bulk of the experience, but like it is anecdotal in that sense. And so what we're talking about is like a larger issue in that way. But you should be able to live wherever the hell you want to live. I don't you don't have to, you know, I understand that those things are a weight and at the same time it's a choice too. People choose to live in those things and undertake those I don't know why. If it's not like if that's not how you want to live, you know, you don't have to do that. But for some people it's a choice, for some people it's not. Some people are trafficked into them
so.
kind of situations. So it is an individual in that way. And I don't think that you shouldn't be able to live where you want and have the views that you have are based on your experiences. I don't disagree with that at all,
So
honestly.
when it comes back to this conversation about this BTS Grammy thing, if a song tops the charts and it fills stadiums and these gentlemen are connecting with millions of people across the cultures, I mean, should its language or the country of their origin influence whether it should be be considered part of the mainstream? That's a question. That's a question in the heart of everybody, I think, of this whole inclusion, categorization, and recognition of music. And I think that this is what has been causing a lot of people my age to kind of explore in assimilation, integration, cultural exchange, and institutional recognition in a way that has basically historically grounded and kind of encouraged kind of like these type of conversation without it kind of reducing it to a simple racial binary. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly understand exactly what you're saying. And I think y'all can correct me if I'm wrong with this, but I think what even though in a roundabout way, what BTS was trying to do is bring out the conversations that we're having right now. To me, since this is my industry, I think music is the most powerful teacher on earth. Now, just like you said with that song, it was about their national anthems. But if we go back to some of the most watched and listened to songs from, dare I use, the Super Bowl, Marvin Gaye and Whitney Houston. That was a matter of civic pride when they sang the national anthem. You know, everybody was in awe of how they sing it, the pitch, the tone, and all that. To where I think we're on the same level of what BTS doing, because music transcends itself. And I think that's what these guys are saying is, even though our heritage comes from here, but we wanted to I say compete with the Katy Perrys and the this is or the that ones. Don't put us over here just to compete with only other Asian artists, because our music is bigger than that. We recognize that through its global sales, and when we go to different countries, sold out tours or whatever. So to come down to now, it's time to be recognized for that. You guys are kind of shooting us in the foot by saying, "Hey, look, we know you're good, but we're only going to let you go to this category of best Asian." And the same thing with what they call race music, or what they call urban contemporary music, or rap, or whatever. Yeah, we know you guys are good, and we know you guys are dominating the charts, as they call it, pop music. But we're only going to let you have best new rap of the year. A nomination, for what I think BTS was trying to say, it doesn't hold water anymore. You can nominate me for anything, but history is telling me the nominations of the Grammys don't add up to anything. So this is a conversation that should have been had, should have been brought to us by some of these more affluent R&B artists, or jazz artists, or artists that make their bread and butter here. Yes, but at least it's being
Music.
talked about. Yeah.
What was the BET Awards like a response to the Grammys? What other awards?
Yes.
They were, right? And it was
Yes, they
to
were.
center.
Yes,
It
just
was to
about
center.
yes, just about
Mhm.
every award show that's primarily aimed at Black people. It was in direct contrast of because we didn't have proper representation. MTV, let's see, the billboards, all these different things that we literally had to either boycott or just say, hey, like Michael Jackson, for instance. You know, Michael Jackson told MTV, hey, if you're not going to play other Black artists, don't play my music at all either. So what did MTV do? They started playing Michael Jackson music along with Run DMC and a bunch of the other artists. But when it was time for the Grammys, these songs that were more popular and mainstream, no recognition.
Right, but even the Latin music industry some of the artists had to get together and started the Latin Music Awards because they felt like they weren't properly being recognized as well. But, I did find out something very interesting, Mr. DJ Music, and this was something that I thought was absolutely amazing. So back in 1971, there was Duke Ellington had a conversation on his album called the Chino series. And Duke Ellington told the listener that Mr. McLuhan says that the whole world is going Oriental and that no one will be able to retain his or her identity, not even the Orientals. And he said that in 1971. So Marshall McLuhan was this type of music theorist, psychologist, and he basically said that there was going to come a time that we would not be able to identify the difference between the music. And he said that basically that this type of, I guess, overlap of sound, that they would be created like a new sound, and it would be called, and of course it wouldn't be just mainstream music, it'd be world music.
Right.
And
But
usually,
go ahead. See, even with that, that, again, in the music industry, I see world music is a genre by itself. So when it came to the Grammys, for all those folks, that world music means, it could mean Caribbean, it could mean calypso, it could mean all of these things. And that's how the Grammys kind of lumped all those together, when actually, to me, they're completely different styles of music. There are similarities, but, say like, I'm trying to think of some calypso artists off the top of my head, but I really can't. But if they weren't the Grammys right now, they would be in the same position as BTS right now. Worldwide fame, chart-topping, sellout crowds. But when it came to the Grammys, you're not even in the consideration for album of the year.
Well, what do y'all think? So to me, it sounds like, well, maybe it's time to stop centering the Grammys, right? And I think that's what some of these other groups have tried to do. But if this is, about like their impact around the world, and other musicians have similar impact, then maybe it's time to definitely transcend the Grammys and come up with something different altogether.
Right. You have to think about the the global influence of what BTS has done, that they've been able to absolutely, without assimilation, they've been able to integrate their language, their history, the way their symbolism and their storytelling into global audiences. People who don't really speak Korean are singing it. Tens of millions of people know what ARIRANG is. They know what the Korean culture is. I think it was in 2020, they said that over, I think it was 20 million women visited South Korea because of the music and the K-dramas.
20 million?
Yes, sir.
Shit, let me catch me in plane over there. 20 million. Can't strike out over that.
Okay. So, but like Mr. Marshall McLuhan said, his prophetic words, along with Duke Ellington, he told about how electronic media would create global villages. He said that technology would blur traditional cultural boundaries and it would produce a new form of connection and new anxieties about identities. And if you think about it, there's so many people who are the fandom for BTS is ARMY, and ARMY is in every race and ethnicity that you could even think of. People are connected all around these seven men, and it's all all the walls of segregation, racism, and discrimination kind of melt down when it comes to who they are around that type of nucleus and that body of who they are as a group. So individually they're talented, and together and corporately they're talented.
Yes, and I think that's maybe I'm wrong for this, but I think that might be the biggest part that was scaring scaring the Grammys. You know that they're a phenomenon. They're huge, and they have. I mean, when I say fans, they have fans. And like you said earlier, Prism, I've listened to. I've watched some of their things when they were live in Munich, Germany. They were live in other places, so I know there was not a whole lot of Koreans in Munich, Germany. But this particular song that you were singing about, talking about body to body, when they was actually singing that part of the Korean national anthem or whatever, everyone was singing it, so everyone had to know that song.
Right. Like this type of identity reduction. It's not that Michael Jackson wasn't just a great artist and a dancer, and just of course, now my age group and younger, everybody's kind of like the light bulbs are on for Michael Jackson again. Yeah. And if you think about it, this type of phenomenon with BTS is kind of like the history of America it's not just exclusion, it's the reduction of your identity. Exactly. And whereas some people like Taylor Swift, she's allowed to simply be an artist and a great artist, while everyone else like Beyonce, BTS, Shakira, Bad Bunny, Drake, Pharrell. I'm just thinking of everybody that I can think of. They kind of have to carry that weight of their race, their ethnicity, and their culture every time they enter music into the mainstream. It can never be just like, hey, BTS is just a great group of men who sing and they're talented. And yeah, they're from South Korea and they continue to bring their heritage and their culture to the whole world, but they're just great artists. And I don't understand this whole segregation with the groups. I just don't think that. I think what happened at the American Music Awards was a wake-up call, Mr. DJ Music. I really do.
Yeah, it is, and again, the Grammys, the last year's Grammys, of course, we saw a lot more of the hip hop artists performing, whereas we can go back into past years of the Grammys, that was unheard of. Even the hip hop categories, they was as you go into commercial, you would hear the Grammy saying, winner of the best new category of best new hip hop artist was so and so, so and so. They didn't even get. They weren't even allowed to perform during the Grammys at some point in time. So again, I don't know too much about this K-pop music, Korean pop or A-pop or whatever. I just listen to music as folks bring it to me. Whether it's if it's good, it's good. If it's horrible, it's horrible. If it stinks, it stinks. But in this case, I would have to say that every once in a while you get trendsetters, trendbenders, and folks that make the powers that be uncomfortable. And I think these 7 kids here, and I'm gonna call them kids, but they're making the industry uncomfortable again, and that's what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. So,
Well, I don't disagree with that. I agree. Shaking it up a little bit is a good thing.
Yeah,
Is a good thing. But yeah, like I'm not. I hear you, Prism. It's just it's not my thing. But I think it's a good. I think this is good. Maybe something better will come out of it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe something better will come out. I do think that music is transcendental for sure, right? Like,
Well,
it's a good conversation.
as a matter of fact, while I'm here, let's go ahead and listen to one of their tracks. I know it's probably won't this won't be monetized, but I don't really too much worry about monetization as long as they don't kick me off for saying bad stuff. I'm good. So let's listen to one of BTS's tracks and let's see what it sounds like, and you folks tell me whether you would like it or not. Oh, that ain't it. That ain't it. This is it.
What you need, Twan? What you need? I need the whole steady in the trunk. Put your phone down, let's get on the front. I got my eyes on the row in the front. The vibe is high, feet big blunt. The vibe is high, let the builder. Big clear from everywhere to Korea. 총 밝히고 닦은 fever. 흰색은 잡아준 건 fever. You're speaking in real life. 마치면 따라 내려나게 마. Happen. 좀 더 가까이 와 skin to skin. I need somebody to body. All of your body beside me. 다른 닿기 손에 손. 너와 나 we on and on. Yeah. The sunrise but we don't go home. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like. Everybody like you. It's so tight. I mean, no one side. I mean, 우리만의 style. I mean, we living the life. 두 눈을 감지 않은 내 밤. 솟구치는 결의 맘. Be a body, be a body, be a body. Could see a body, or you read a body. I need somebody to body. All of your body beside me. 천천히 닿게 손에 손. No, no, we only know, yeah. Sunlight boy, don't go. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Oh, somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Everybody like you. Somebody like you. Oh, somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Everybody like you. I need the whole city in the drum. Put your phone down, let's get on the phone. Do it decide to get it firm.
Okay. Y'all got it.
That's my camera spot.
Okay. It ain't moving nothing over here. But
Well,
hey, y'all do your thing. Y'all do your thing.
I mean, to me, it's of course I'm a DJ, so I'm a little bit biased on everything that I listen to. If a song doesn't catch me in that first 5 to, I won't even say 5 to 10 10, 15, 20 seconds, then I'm not going to listen to it. But I have to say that the beat, the bass, and I'm not too on the rap part of it, but I think overall, yeah, this would be something that my audience would listen to, even though it's for more, seems to me, for a more younger generation. But I can see how these folks, along with some choreographers, remind me of the good old days of the boy bands. Yeah, yeah, I can see how they
Mm-hmm.
could be popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, especially with all this other stuff going on, it's all in that vein. I can see that too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love
My
it.
daughter would probably really like this.
Uh,
I should play it for her just because of the controversy.
Well,
I think
I
it'd be
see
good
that.
for her to understand what's going on.
I see
But
the younger crowd. I see the younger crowd kind of enjoys it. Hey, that line of love. What's up there? Logical assessment. Good to see my man L Boogie. Ava, how
oh,
you
hey,
doing?
Lena.
Welcome in. Good to see all you folks. Good to see all you folks coming on in, dropping in, whether you're down in the regular or if you're on the horizontal. We're talking about, or is that vertical? Horizontal, vertical. We laying down or standing up. Either way, whatever you're doing, laying down or standing up, folks. We're talking about BTS here, and one of these bands that decided to take a stand against the music giant, the Grammys, and say, hey, we're not going to send y'all music for Grammy nominations or considerations because you're trying to put us in a box. We don't want to be in a box. Marvin Gaye did it. He said, "No, you're not going to put me in a box. If y'all can't give me a Grammy for what's going on, don't give me a Grammy for sexual healing." That's like Halle Berry with all the.
Did he refuse it? 'Cause I don't
No,
know.
no, no, no. I don't think he refused it. I think I'm going to guess at this. I think he was actually received a few of his Grammys. Most of them, again, they came after the 1982, and I think some of them got posthumously. So, but for the longest time, you got to figure out how long Marvin Gaye's career spanned. Motown, that single career by himself with Tammy Terrell and all those great songs that he made. Not one Grammy, not one.
So,
So again, go ahead.
so didn't we talk about yesterday, Mr. DJ Music, about how during the civil rights movement that the Grammy Academy of people, the recording, they remove like the parameters around civil rights because of the African American, the music at that time. Wasn't it something that you and I discussed about this?
Yeah,
About during the
yeah,
civil rights?
yeah. During the civil rights era, again, they were calling a lot of the music race music, and folks like Marvin Gaye and of course you got Nina Simone. All these folks were making that racially conscious music. Putting good old Uncle Sam on blast. So they decided, because even though this music was great and it's transcending to not only the black people, to other people as well, folks like Joan Baez and all these other folks, they decided to label it as race music. And what's it do? Takes it out of the limelight. And like folks like Pat Boone we'd be watching him at the Grammy nominations, where after the Grammy we'd all go back and listen to Marvin Gaye. So again, it's just all in how they labeled it, and especially during the civil rights era. You got so many songs that should have been recognized for its greatness. Again, Curtis Mayfield and the Impressions. During the 70s, we had although it was called the blaxploitation era, how much great music came out of that was not recognized for Grammys, even though the movies themselves is what saved Hollywood.
What was the response to being labeled as race music? I mean, because that was the score for the civil rights
But
movement.
the artists themselves didn't like it. They didn't like to be labeled as race music. It's the same way BTS is saying now. They're saying the same thing that the Muddy Waters and those folks were saying back in those days. It's not race music. It's music for everybody. We're not making music for just young Korean people. We're not making music for young African or black folks. A-pop music. We're not making music for hip hop for just black people. We're trying to make our music universal. So I can
Right, but like I'm saying, yeah, right. Like it wasn't, but it also did underline po- particular issues that we were impacted by during those times.
yes,
So
yes,
and that's why I use the word score because it's different. You
right.
understand? And we seem to have gotten away from that, right? Gotten away from the political undertones in our music. They narrated what our experience was,
Yes,
right? Like that was like our form of protesting in a way,
that's
right? That was a
absolutely.
way that we could tell our story. So, outside of outrage, how else did we deal with that?
And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's where music transcends so many cultures. But the song James Brown wrote, "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud." How many folks sing that are not black? You know, it's just.
That's way before my time, but I understand a little bit about
I'm sorry, but yeah, but that was a
why they
that was
segregated the music at that time because they probably did not want it to become an anthem because anthems symbolize so much
that's
to
right.
people. It really makes you connect with people when you sing an anthem. So
Like
there's no way around it.
like lift every voice.
Yes,
The
that
masses hate it. The white, and
yeah.
no disrespect, but the white masses hate that. They hate
Hmm.
that particular song. They do. But for us, of people of color, African American people, that's an anthem to us. You know.
Yes.
So
Because I
so
mean, but and then because that's a national anthem for us, I want you to think about what I was saying initially about ARIRANG and how they their national anthem is inspiring and it's being heard every night, maybe every night, maybe 2 and 3 times a week
mm,
by different cultures, selling out stadiums of 50 to 60,000 people, probably predominantly women. I want you
yep.
to think my age. I want you to think about the allure. So we know historically in America, I believe, because if you are a native Westerner and you're from California, you know the history that the Chinese men that were there at that time, they weren't allowed to marry white women.
Nope. Coolies.
Okay. So, and also, if you think about it, where have you seen historically in our movies, where have you seen a Asian man that's a lead? The top romantic lead. Where have you seen him?
I I'd be hard pressed to find one other than Bruce Lee.
He's never been a romantic lead in any top
No,
movie.
no.
He's never.
Jet Li, no, no.
I don't
No.
remember him being in a romantic
Uh,
lead. Jet Li,
I'm
Because
t-
they
no.
always, almost like Miss ABT, almost like with black women, they have masculinized black women like we are sapphires, we're mammies, we're Jezebels. Whereas Asian men have been feminized. They're weak. They look more women-like. They're not manly. And I can tell you they are.
well,
They're just as manly as everybody else.
I can't
You
argue with that because every movie that
we need to think about the history of what's going on here, and we think about it like I clicked on. If you're familiar with LA, there's the Herb Alpert School of Music, and I dropped the link in there talking about for coloreds only, blackface and segregation in Billboard charts and the Grammy Awards. So
Herb Albert is one of the greats.
So he has a school of music that is named after him.
Hmm.
So we need to recognize that this type of segregation of music, I'm going to say it again, or ghettoization of music, of categorizing music according to your culture and the language that you speak, this is nothing more than subtle segregation and racism at its best. And you would think somebody like Harvey Mason, who came out and said that he was disappointed that BTS is not going to submit their music to the Grammy Awards. And but you can submit it to anything that you want to. But I think that what happened on the American Music Awards, I think because they received like the album of the year with the American Music Awards, and the people were able to choose it. And you saw the connection with them, with people like Glorilla. J-Hope did a song with Glorilla. RM did a song with Meg Thee Stallion. J-Hope did it with not J-Hope. Jungkook did it with Lada. So you think about all this. I almost called her real name, but you have to think about all the different things. Suga is he's a rapper, and come find out that his nickname Sugar, he got it from Sugar Ray Leonard, a boxer.
Okay, well, if you don't know who Sugar Ray Leonard is, then go ahead. Let me get the black card right now. Let hand it here.
You say you're gonna get the black card?
Yeah, just go ahead and hand it to me. If you don't know who Sugar Ray Leonard is,
who asking who Sugar Ray is? Come on now.
I'm about to say.
We know who he is. We know.
All right.
So there is this type of admiration and respect and love
for
Black culture in Korea, the music, the dance, and there has been a huge connection with new like writers, songwriters, and different things going over, adding to the music, creating music with them, and it's going to get larger. I think that the guy who is the CEO of is it Big Hit or is it Hive? Bang Seek? I think his name is Bang. When he said that, imagine people of many nations singing ARIRANG. He is absolutely he's a brilliant man. If he's just a brilliant man. He is. For him to have perceived this concept of this Korean nationalism being spread through music, the pride of Korea being spread through music, the connectivity, and the interconnection with other groups, that was just a genius move. I have to give it to him. Hands down, he's probably one of the most brilliant men I think I've heard listening to him through music. For him to realize that, hey, this is more than what we can make it. This is something huge. And this right here is huge. Well, I think it's revolutionary. Do you think not for someone to say, we're not going to submit our music to the Grammys? We're done.
It's definitely that's why everyone's talking about it, because that's out of the norm. Everybody clamors to get their music, to have a Grammy nominated song, or having a Grammy song for consideration is a big deal to some of the artists. How do I know? Because I speak with these artists all the time, whether they're independent or whether they're mainstream artists. Just to be recognized by the Grammys, sometimes it's a big thing. So imagine if your song or your album won album of the year. That transcends everybody. That means everybody liked it. Everybody listened to it. So again, this is the problem that I think a lot of
and you think about it, like for example, our culture. When we think about our music, everything think about it, Miss ABT. Everything they attribute everything negative to us. Gang banging, fighting. You know what I mean? Twerking and
right.
Everything is negative about our music, but if you think about twerking, that is historically from what country? Africa. You think about Tyla is doing nothing but twerking all over the place all the time. Meg Thee Stallion is doing it, but she's doing it with a lot more
wine in them hips.
something on that back end, baby.
Yeah. Listen. I'm not. I don't know what the problem people have with twerking. If it's
No,
done
seriously. So,
tastefully,
but listen, I think that. So, I actually I want to see them take this all the way there, right? I hope they don't concede, right? I hope they hold their position. And let's see, because what they're saying is like, we don't need that, like at all. And a lot of times, instead of like holding that position, what we've seen our people do is kind of fold, right?
I didn't want to
Because
say. I didn't want to say
we
that.
feel like we
APT.
need it. But am I lying?
No, I didn't want to say that, but to be honest, we have to say it. Yeah, a lot of times we do say, "Hey, something needs to be done," and
Mhm.
we jump to the top of the line, and say, "I'm going to be the one," but as soon as they say, "Hey, next year we ain't going
Come
to bring
on.
you back," you know what happens?
Right.
They get
And we
quiet.
fold.
They get
Yeah.
quiet.
So maybe this will inspire other people to
Uh,
follow suit, right?
Absolutely, and I hope it does. I really
I
hope
hope
it
it
does.
does. I
Yeah,
hope
I
it
hope it does.
does. I
Yeah.
don't mind them, taking that position. I think it is bold and brilliant, and they
It is
absolutely should.
because
Especially if, again, you're watching the global response, and the global response is telling them
it
we
is
don't
huge.
need that.
Right, it is huge. Believe me, I've just in the little bit of research that I've done on these seven men, they took a little time off to do their military service, but it's like they never skipped a beat. The fans are. I
Hmm.
mean, when you've got a sellout tour in what 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different countries, and they ain't even been there yet. That's
Right.
huge. That is huge. That is huge. So
And
let's
then
go ahead.
to always reference, like other groups, other musicians, um, to like for example, I'm a big neo soul fan,
Hmm.
and probably because I was created
More than likely.
around that era. So
Yeah. Hmm.
I was a little kid. So I think that because I like neo soul, so anytime I hear something like, for example, like I think I was telling Mr. DJ Music, I share a lot of music with him, and I fell in love with a young lady, probably about my age. Her name is Alex Isley, and her voice is just like angels. It's just, she sounds so beautiful. And my dad was like, Isley. And I was like, yeah. He was like, who's her daddy? And I looked it up, and one of the Isley brothers is her father. And it was no
Yeah, I was
wonder,
gonna. Yeah, there's only like a few of
it's
them.
no wonder that she sounds like she does.
You said
Hmm.
APT. It's a few of them.
Right. No, but
But it's
that makes sense though, right? Because she
yeah,
she grew up with that too, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
of
just
course.
But
beautiful.
Yeah.
ladies, let me ask y'all something. There's been a controversy of a song that's been put out, and everybody's singing it, everybody's TikToking to it, or gramming to it. Spin that shit. By that, what is that? What is it? What is the name of the song? Spin that.
By
Yeah, I
Young
think it's called, yeah, Spin That. Hmm.
Miami.
Yeah. What's y'all? Go ahead. Y'all give me your opinion on that.
I mean, DJ Music, you know as well as I know,
Okay.
that a lot of rap music is about what people see around them.
Sure.
It's a song. So I know about everyone saying that she basically is advocating for stealing, tricking, scamming, and all these different things. And it's a miracle. It's amazing to me how everybody came out talking about Young Miami, but they didn't have a problem with Nelly taking a credit card and swiping it through a black woman's behind.
Tip drill.
It's getting hot in here.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Let's take off all your clothes. They don't have a problem with any of that stuff. But I think like what
Prism,
she was
you finna make a lot of people upset with your comments, baby. I'm just let you know, because you can't argue with some of these people about this stuff. Now, listen, I'm not in disagreement. I am not in disagreement.
I love P, but drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. It make me want to throw my hips down on it.
Well, the degeneracy is always highlighted and rewarded, right?
Yes.
And I think that is by design and for a reason. It's one thing to kind of like, that's a little club banger, but when you do see the repercussions of that and the impact, it's alarming. It's alarming. But and at the same time, when you start speaking out about that kind of stuff, you're looked at like you got 4 eyes or something,
right?
Because you're commenting about that whole look. You know what I mean? Or you're a prude, you're a this, you're a that, and it's like, we're watching the rapid decline of our people. You had pointed out a brilliant statement. I can't remember if that was Gillespie, Calloway, or Ellington, but the fact that music is the medium. And because there's also a spiritual connection to that, we're getting downloads and messages. I mean, that are futuristic, right? In thought, right? That message was said about it will transcend borders and cultures and people. How many years ago, Prism? Look at Sun Ra, right? Like he's a whole entire entity in and of himself with what he was carrying musically. Now I understand you might not know who Sun Ra is. Music, you should know.
I've heard of him, but again,
my God today. Okay, so
okay.
All right. But like it's the genius that is in us, right? The brilliance that is in us, right? And what we channel.
It's house music.
What we channel is. It's not. No. It's futuristic jazz from like back in the day. Okay. One of the pioneers of jazz. Like he's brilliant, man.
Somebody
we'd have to.
Mr. DJ Music.
Say that again.
Somebody's in the chat said they would like to jump on.
I can drop. Of course, I'll drop
the
link. Spring Life. You're more than welcome to come on.
So we talked about it. You might be behind in the stream, but Prism set me straight on that.
Do you think?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Miss ABT, do you think all Black music is taking us down a trajectory, or there's just like a certain Black music has cultures? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was just saying I don't think all Black music is taking a turn.
I think Black music has evolved with different sectors of African Americans because of their culture of what they've been seeing around them. I would probably, okay, so trap, trick, whatever, drill, Drake, well, I mean, it's true. Let me think of who else that I just J. Cole, J. Cole probably had one of the best albums, I think, along with BTS. Will I think it'll get a Grammy for it? Probably not, but he had some great songs on his tracks this year. Let me think. I mean, I guess I don't know if we have. I think Black culture has evolved and changed. There used to be, I think, like with my mom and dad, they play a lot of music that's probably more reminiscent of the time that they were younger and they were falling in love. Okay. I've kind of picked up on some of them, but I probably would listen to more of things probably from the people around the time I was growing up and my age group. I'll probably listen to like Britney Spears. I'll be listening to music, Erica Badu. I'm probably going to listen to Lettucey, Jill Scott. Let me think. Music Soul Child. Raheem Devon, Wally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All these different people that I'm probably going to listen to that everybody else is not going to listen to. I'm going to listen to BTS. I'm going to listen to a Tease. I'm going to listen to what's my girls' names? Oh God, I can't even think right now because I'm sleepy.
The Womax.
Who?
Music.
Okay.
You be doing too much.
No,
I'm going back a little too far. Okay, you got to.
No.
Alex Isley. I'm going to listen to Tyler.
Right, but see, the Womack sisters, they are the product of Bobby Womack's tour. We gotta get into it, but these young ladies are about your age. As you said, Prism, you're in your early 30s.
But
yes,
yeah, so they're about your age, and they're the product of. It's a torrid affair, but the girls can sing. But you know, their parents are Sam Cooke, Bobby Womack, and his folks. So I mean,
they coming from good stock, is what he.
Yeah.
You might want to check them out. You might want to check them out.
Yeah, they're coming from good stock. Yeah, they're coming from good stock. Whereas in the state of black music is just this, because I have to play it and I have to listen to it. To me, I hate to tell a new artist, listen, you got to go take your music back and clean it up. You got to make it more radio friendly. And I think we've lost that. That's the biggest part of our music that's been lost. It used to tell a story of either trying to make some money the honest way, falling in love the right way, getting your ass whipped the right way, and walking away. But now it's all about, MDR, murder, death, kill.
Right. And like I said, you like Rennie, like I listen to him. He's Asian and he can really blow, let me tell you. I mean, I think that
so while you're thinking
soul of, I think the people who really are putting out that type of music are not getting played like they should.
I agree.
I don't think they're getting played like they used to, because there was a time, I believe, Mr. DJ Music, and you can school me on this, where the village was radio stations.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Local radio stations. Usually it was an AM radio station that everybody got around and listened to, and then you got these radio conglomerates that bought up all these local radio stations like WPAL, WPXI. I'm just talking about from the radio stations that I know, and some of them in California. I think one of the oldest black radio stations is in California. But again now, when you listen to music, especially terrestrial music, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and 2 hours later you end up in Charlotte, North Carolina, you listen to the radio station, you're going to hear those same songs again, over and over and over and over and over. And that's the difference, that the radio stations does not talk about community anymore. They talk about corporate. You turn on your car radio, you get 15 commercials before you hear 3 songs.
And you also got to remember too that certain aspects of things sell, like sex sells. Like that's a very real thing, right? And unfortunately, that is what's dictating what gets thrown in our face.
Well, I think the algorithm.
I'll be right back.
I think the algorithm now, Mr. DJ Music, and you can tell me if you disagree or agree. I think that the algorithm now is the gatekeeper for all of these industries. I think where the old system used to be kind of like shows, TV shows that would show kind of like, videos and different things. Now we have like streaming platforms, and we have AI, and we have Spotify, and we have, all of these things where we don't really have to really go out anymore and pick up something and say, okay, let me put this in and let me listen to it. No, we can listen to it right away. Like they drop an album, they're going to put a video out. We're going to sit there on YouTube and we're going to run it up through the algorithm.
You're absolutely right. The algorithms do play the major part of what's going on with music now. You're absolutely right. Yes.
And it's kind of created its own echo chamber.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not trying to be funny. It's
but even in that, though, look at what gets more play than other aspects of the algorithm, right? You're going to see, well, I think everybody's algorithm is different, but there's still like certain negative aspects of the algorithm that we see more than the positive. Like that's still
algorithms don't care about history. All they care about is patterns.
Yeah.
That's all they care about is a pattern.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you listen to if I go and listen right now to one song by, let me say, if I say, okay, I'm just gonna, let me chill out, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to Erykah Badu, they're gonna throw in everybody from neo soul right in there with it.
Yep.
And create my own little playlist for me.
That's exactly it. They're going to give you that for you, and that's it. To me, that's one of the good things about the internet that I personally enjoy. If one song, if it's played on your algorithms or you choose it, it's going to lead you to the next song that's got something in common with that. If you're a neo soul artist, your music timeline is probably going to be filled with neo soul people that you listen to. If you're a rock and roll kind of person, your timeline is going to be filled with that. Me, it's hard to gauge me because I listen to a little bit of everything. So I come up with some stuff sometimes that I don't know where it came from. But again, music is the most, to me, the most powerfulest weapon or the most powerfulest pill on earth. It can heal us, but it also can put us in an uproar, as you can see, because that drill music, all it does is make these young folks want to go out and harm each other. There's no redeeming qualities in that. None at all. Yes, it's art, but it's still no real. It has no shelf life. Whereas Marvin Gaye does, Stevie Wonder does, all the greats from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, we still talk about that. But when's the last time you heard a what's a Chief Keef song?
Who?
Yeah. Chief Keef he's one of the founders of the drill scene. Yeah. Right.
But I would rather for you just to say Tupac or somebody like that.
See,
like simple stuff.
and that's the thing with AI. It's hard to know whether it's whether it's the songs that Tupac is putting out now posthumously, whether it's coming from AI or whether it's actually coming from his catalog.
So look, Prism is killing me with the who?
She's showing her age, ain't she?
It's so sweet though. It's sweet and it's good. That's all right.
I have a question for both of you guys, because you guys are older than I am, and I have a question. Is it almost normal that African American music is sexualized?
I don't think that's normal.
But isn't the majority of our music sexualized?
No,
it hasn't always been.
No, go ahead.
Well, okay, so sometimes I'll listen to dark cello. Sometimes I'll listen to Chopin. Sometimes I'll listen to Beethoven. I'll listen to jazz. Because sometimes I'm in that mood where I just don't really want to hear anything. I just kind of want to chill out. I want to just dissolve, and if it gets that I just don't want anything, I'll just turn everything off. But if I'm in that mood that I'm just kind of like, I just want to just meditate or think on something else, if I'm getting into a place where I'm getting ready to start writing my poetry, there's certain type of sounds or music that I will listen to kind of get myself in that zone. So when Miss ABT was talking about, was you were saying something about music having certain energies or spirits?
Frequencies.
Oh yeah.
So even culturally, Africans, every ethnic group, I think, their music resonates somewhere in their spirit. Spiritism has always had a beat for us. And our dance, our movement, you know, when Jill Scott will say in that low key, you know, I was just thinking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think
that type of thing. That's always kind of been our like.
I think our music, it exudes sexuality without having to try to.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but not always, right? Like
Not
we
always,
gotta,
right.
not always, and we can
Right.
go back to the spirituals, you know, which had a spiritual
not
connection.
what we're supposed to do, though.
Hmm.
Like I'm not
Is
sitting
that-
around. Like I'm not gonna sit around. I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that. Let me think. Let
Hey,
me have a,
Brownie.
let me think of a song.
Since we're talking, well, I know you wouldn't know this, but there's a song by Marvin Gaye called "Sanctified Lady." You ever heard that song before?
No, but
Yes.
I've heard the anthem by D'Angelo, the late D'Angelo, How Does It Feel? And when I'm thinking about how does it feel, if I'm going to listen to that and stuff, I'm definitely not thinking about let me go and get on my bike and take a ride.
No. I should hope not.
About that type of stuff.
Not unless you have a crush on your bicycle seat. That's the only thing I can think.
That might be a thing for them.
It might be. I don't know.
It might be a thing.
It might like let
increase your energy for some things, but I'm just saying, like in humanity, and I think that's another thing that we can talk about from another's perspective, not on BTS stuff, but on another layer. I think that, which is probably the biggest issue, I think it's either Black women are 304s or they ain't giving nothing up at all, y'all. There ain't no middle ground about it. There's something spiritual about sex, but it's not that spiritual. It's kind of like we can't, but we can. Should I? Should I not? Should I be this way? Should I not be this way? I don't think anybody is more confused about that avenue of humanity than Black men and Black women.
Yeah.
I just think there's a time and place for everything.
What's the time and place?
So, you know, some music is, there are different aspects of music, right?
Late
you have
night.
this spiritual music, right? And then you do have adult music, and there's nothing wrong with it. I ain't saying there's anything wrong with any of that. You have other, you know, music that you would play around your kids is a little more wholesome. That, you know, I think there's just a time and place for everything. I don't think that it means that there's necessarily something wrong if there's a sexual undertone to it. I just think time and place.
Yeah,
so like you wouldn't be singing that in the church, you know?
Singing what in the church?
And you wouldn't be singing sexual healing in the Black church.
I can tell you one thing for sure, that church would be full because of the fact that people were doing some sexual healing.
They absolutely were, but it's time and place.
Somebody,
just being honest.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, they, you know, what they say, partying on something Oh wait, church on Sunday, sinning on Monday.
Yeah,
It's
because
all the things, but like
remember,
it's just you wouldn't. That's not when it's praise and worship. There's a different time, and it calls for a different kind of music.
well,
And
again, I think that that music is kind of blurred the line now. What they call Christian hip hop, Christian rap, and I can even go
but
back to
even with
remember.
some of that, I listened to it. That guy, that new guy. I don't know if he's new. What's that guy? Um, the We Gonna Be All Right. That Trent person. I like what he's bringing to gospel. Actually, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that there's anything sexual in that.
No, no, I don't think so either. But some people will take that. Like, remember when Mary did what's that was it Mary or one of those groups? They did the Shackles. They took the RJ's latest Arrival song and turned it into a hip Christian song, and folks lost their mind.
You know why? Because, and again, like lyrically, I don't think there's anything wrong with the lyrics of that. The church has this thing about the devil coming in through the choir,
Yeah,
and so
secular
for the
music.
so there's that's going on in there, right? Which I think some of that is misplaced. Not a whole music that deviates from the norm of like the traditional gospel sound and the spiritual sounds means that it's the devil coming in. I think it's just that interpretation from the church and that perspective that kind of clouds and doesn't accept the growth and invite in more
Yeah,
inclusive music. I think that's part of their that's something that they need to work through,
right.
I think
right?
there's a colonization of sexuality for Black women as well. I'm sorry, but the church has been the biggest culprit of the colonization of Black women and their bodies.
She
Yeah,
had nothing
I
but
don't disagree.
Oh my bad.
I really I don't disagree. That's a for me that's a
Well,
conversation
right.
about
That's
a lot of other things
a
too.
whole nother conversation. Because good Lord have mercy, what I could say about the
Yeah,
church
that
or
would be.
to the church. Uh, uh, well, I'll just say it like this. That's why I say that I'm not a man of religion, but I am a man of faith. No, we'll just keep it at that because, the church sometimes. That's I'll
Yeah,
just say it at that.
let me say, Mr. DJ Music. I think that
Hmm.
definitely that would probably be a whole thing. Let me
Yeah,
tell you,
yeah.
especially for younger people, um, watching our parents. And I think that a lot of people traditionally who are older, they hold to a certain world view of what life should be like. And then they see young men and women who they gave birth to live a completely different way.
Completely different, right? But
And I
that,
don't think that they really understand that you raise your children like my dad said. My dad doesn't control my life, and neither does my mother. I'm grown.
right,
Um, they raised me the way that they told me they were going to raise me. But as I grew into an adult, I made my own decisions. I do what I want to do, how I want to do it. I have to live with my decisions. My parents
right.
don't.
I'll agree with
If they
that.
do anything to disappoint my parents, um, I would hope they don't seem like they're disappointed. But I cannot live my life, as I said before, based on what every Black person feels like I should be living as a community, as a culture. I can't do that. That's too
No,
heavy a responsibility, and I can't do that for anyone.
no, I get you. I
I
get you.
can't.
Let's let me answer this. Spring, I'm not sure whether you're on the vertical stream or not, but if you come over to YouTube, excuse me, to the regular stream, I think you'll be able to click the link over there because I think I'm not the only one that has the problem with when you put the link, you're not able to catch it on the vertical stream. So if you'll come over to the main chat over here on YouTube and catch the horizontal stream, you should be able to come in it from that one. But one thing I want to do, folks, I want to cover this Michael Jackson here because, again, Bad was one of the biggest selling albums of all time, other than his first album, of course, and Rock With You and all this other stuff. But I want you to look at Michael Jackson when he realized that the industry itself, the music industry, was a big letdown. So let's take a look at this.
Music industry's most coveted trophy. Not because they couldn't win, not because they weren't eligible, but because they refused to be segregated. 7 men, 1 decision, and a statement that sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment machine. BTS didn't just decline a Grammy submission. They stared into a system built on gatekeeping and division, and they chose silence as their loudest protest. Nobody saw it coming. The industry was preparing for another awards season circus. Labels were polishing their For Your Consideration campaigns. Publicists were locking in strategic interviews, and the
There it is.
An awards ceremony that hopes to honor the industry's most promising recording artists and showcase achievements made by those who have demonstrated excellence in their creative fields. Dating back to 1959, the coveted annual event has set the scene for countless career-defining moments and captured the world's greatest music stars at their most electric. None so iconic, however, as Michael Jackson holding arms full of trophies during the 26th Grammy Awards ceremony in 1984, when, at the height of Thriller mania, Jackson famously swept the show, winning a record 8 awards and garnering the largest television audience ever for the music event. Both records, even after nearly 40 years, stand unbroken. However, although Michael Jackson is a bona fide Grammy legend in memory, throughout his life, Jackson didn't always maintain a respectful connection with the institution as you would expect. In fact, his relationship with the Academy was very much love-hate, and frustrations built as he fought to be properly acknowledged, shaping his approach to awards ceremonies in general and what value he put on such accolades. Here's the detail. Michael Jackson got his first taste of the Grammys in 1975 when he attended the industry event as part of the Jackson 5. The tuxedo-clad brothers were thrilled with a nomination for Best R&B Group Vocal Performance for their track Dancing Machine. Previously, the group had their single ABC nominated in 1971 for Best Contemporary Vocal Performance by a Group, but the Motown brothers lost out on both occasions. As a child star, Michael Jackson grew up attending award ceremonies, witnessing his idols, as well as the day's biggest stars, pick up awards for their illustrious careers. Experiencing firsthand the buzz in the crowd, the anticipation, as well as the jubilation that followed a major victory. How artists can be celebrated and history be made for their creative feats. Although Michael's work with the Jacksons didn't secure a Grammy win, the artist had lofty ambitions for his first solo record as an adult.
Now, I want y'all to understand that Michael Jackson and all that music that the Jackson 5 put out, not a Grammy. I didn't say that. Y'all just heard it said all the work that he put in with the Jackson 5, no Grammys. Wow.
Off the wall. With the help of Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson was able to showcase his creative freedom and individualism, developing a vivid style that was very much his own. The ambitious project proved to be critically and commercially successful. A major breakthrough, Jackson achieved 2 smash hit #1 singles, with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Rock With You, as well as 2 other top 10 releases. Breaking records as the best-selling album from any black artist up until that point, Michael Jackson had high hopes for multiple award nominations to warrant his groundbreaking accomplishments. However, the artist was underwhelmed when he came to realize that he was nominated for just 2 awards, eventually winning Best Male R&B Vocal Performance for his hit, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Distraught, Jackson reportedly told his sister, quote, "You watch. I'll show them. I'll make it impossible for them to ignore me like that again." Released in November 1982, Michael's next musical output, Thriller, showcased a much more diverse, driven sound with rock crossover hits like Beat It and pop disco hits like the ominous Billie Jean. As each single premiered on MTV with an equally electrifying video and the Moonwalker wowing audiences with his sensational danceability, momentum for the album grew at an alarming rate as Michael Mania swept the nation. With Michael at #1 yet again, and the album fast becoming the best-selling album of all time, it was clear only one name was going to be sweeping every music awards show the following year. However, once it was announced that Michael Jackson had been nominated for an incredible 12 awards, his triumphant night was put into jeopardy after he suffered second and third-degree burns filming a Pepsi commercial just weeks before the ceremony. Quote, "Jackson may require reconstructive surgery, but we really can't determine that at this time," Stephen Hoffman, Michael's doctor, said at a press conference after the accident, adding that Jackson might still attend the Grammy Awards, quote, "if he feels up to it." It was originally intended for the Glove singer to deliver another spellbinding performance, in hopes of recapturing the magic he displayed on Motown 25 the previous year. But Ken Ehrlich, producer of the telecast, said Jackson ultimately declined the invitation after his accident. Quote, "He'll be in the audience. Hopefully he'll get some awards. Hopefully he'll have a good time." And that's it. Much anticipation grew as the event would mark Michael Jackson's first public appearance since his potentially disfiguring burns. The same commercial that Jackson's hair caught alight in during its filming was also due to premiere as Pepsi planned to play the segment during the award show's commercial break. Ironically, the infamous scene was filmed at the Shrine Auditorium, which also acted as the venue for the Grammy presentation that year. On February 28, 1984, Michael Jackson re-entered the building looking far more triumphant than which he left.
This was one of the most talked about Grammys of all time. Why? Because he was there with Emmanuel Lewis and Brooke Shields was his date.
Hey, his hair caught on fire?
Yeah, that Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, I just heard that.
He was filming the Pepsi commercial, and they said that was the beginning of Michael Jackson's downfall when it came to painkillers, because of that Pepsi Generations commercial. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Sure was.
Dressing in his finest crystal-covered blue and gold military jacket with matching crystal glove, Michael appeared regal, as though ready to receive his crown on the most glorious of occasions. The excitement was palpable with every trophy. When accepting Album of the Year, he invited CBS Records president Walter Yetnikoff to the stage, who praised Michael as, quote, "the man who has shown us the way in music, in youth, in song and dance," and dedicated his win to one of his idols, Jackie Wilson, who had passed away the month before. For his 7th trip to the stage for Best Vocal Performance Male, Michael dramatically removed his glasses, a promise to his friend, actress Katharine Hepburn, as he said with a smile, quote, "for the girls in the balcony." His record-breaking 8th award for the Record of the Year, eclipsing singer-songwriter Paul Simon's 7 in 1970, saw Jackson enthusiastically embracing Quincy Jones and joyously spinning on the stage, becoming an all-time magic moment in Grammy history. Thanks to Jackson, the broadcast became the most-watched Grammy Awards ever, and, for a long time, the most-watched ceremony of any award category, only to be beaten out by Titanic's sweep of the Oscars in 1998. With over 51 million viewers, the event saw a 70% increase in viewership when compared.
I want you to understand something. 51 million people. I was one of those 51 million that watched that. And we talked about it for weeks. Did y'all see Michael Jackson? He got all those awards and all those different accolades and all that. This is what the Grammys tried to stop. This is what BTS was pointing out. My music is great. There should be no reason for you to put me in an Asian pop category when it transcends everything and everybody.
To the previous year, as millions tuned in to watch Michael Jackson take his rightful place in pop history. Quote, "We were all in a state," Michael later wrote in his 1988 memoir Moonwalk. Quote, "Man, what a feeling. To work so hard on something, to give so much, and to succeed. I imagine that I felt like a long-distance runner must feel when breaking the tape at the finish line. I identify with that." Any new music. Much of the conversation focused on the contrived media hype, record sales, and Michael's appearance, rather than the music itself. Quote, "As he begins his new quest for greater heights, he faces an enormous image problem, helped in part by media overkill, his shyness, feminine look, and sometimes eccentric behavior," as James McBride wrote in the Washington Post. With Michael Jackson out of the country for much of the album's initial release, touring Asia as part of the first leg of the Bad World Tour, the artist hoped to build the momentum he created with Thriller while touring the US throughout 1988. As part of this endeavor, Jackson planned to return to the States and kick off his first solo nationwide tour immediately after attending the Grammy Awards. Michael received 4 award nominations, and although there was no chance of him sweeping the ceremony again, the categories he was nominated included Best Male Pop Vocal Performance and the coveted Album of the Year award. This time around, Jackson was in a far better state to perform during the show, a reminder for audiences to forget the nonsense in the press and showcase what the artist does best. With many predicting the singer would win several awards for Bad, Jackson channeled all his energies into an unforgettable performance, in which he transformed his already #1 throbbing dance hit, The Way You Make Me Feel, into a slinky jazz tune.
And I want you to think about this again, ladies and gentlemen. All those great hits that came off that Bad CD. Black and White, the list goes on. How did that particular CD did not win Album of the Year? When you started your career off, your tour off in another part of the world, all that was supposed to be culminating to the Grammys. But when he gets to the Grammys, all that greatness was for naught.
This was followed by his brand new single, the intense and gospel-inspired Man in the Mirror, the last part being performed in near a cappella, showcasing the artist's raw and commanding presence as a world-class performer. After receiving floods of applause and a standing ovation from his contemporaries, Herb Alpert and Motown pal Diana Ross entered the stage to announce the winner of Album of the Year. With Diana Ross being chosen to present, one can presume that Michael had a pretty good chance of taking it home. Up against the likes of U2, Whitney Houston, and somewhat rival Prince, Jackson stood in the wings anxiously awaiting the result. A vibrant Diana opens the envelope impatiently, and immediately, an air of disappointment covers her face as she announces,
"The Album of the Year is the Joshua Tree, U2."
Michael Jackson then proceeded to sit in the audience as every other award nomination was read out, before ultimately leaving the ceremony empty-handed. Without an enthusiast acknowledgement,
that was the look of disappointment right there on Michael Jackson's face. That was the look of disappointment. Let me see if I can get back to it.
Michael Jackson then proceeded to sit in the audience as every...
You ever had somebody steal something from you and you know they stole it and you can't do nothing about it? I imagine that's what Michael Jackson is feeling right now.
But you know, they played in his face, right?
Yeah.
And instead of, he kept trying to get their attention. And he was bigger than anybody. I mean, listen, you know, you seen them kids, they would be passing out.
Of course. He was, I forgot where he was at, but he did not sing for at least 10, 15 minutes. And they had to carry folks out the audience because they were just passing out. And all he did was just stand there with his hands on his hip, looking out in the audience with some glasses on. And folks was passing out.
I think that I put a comment in the chat that says that genius is rarely recognized in its own time. And probably for anyone who is an artist, I think being recognized by your peers is probably the highest form of appreciation and respect and acceptance of your gift. And I think that Michael, I'm looking at his face right now, and it's almost making me feel so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry. The Scorpio that I am, I just feel like that he felt, I don't know if he felt cheated as much as a lot of people with his type of genius. They wonder what they could have done better. Did I not say, was it something that I didn't put in the music? Could I have done this or that? And it's probably that type of back and forth ping pong thinking that it wasn't just, I think that in our mind, we're probably thinking, you know, something, and of course we'll never know, that, you know, we think that it's because they stole something from him. But I think it was a higher level of probably I'm sorry of
Disappointment.
within himself. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can, there's no doubt Michael Jackson carried that mantle of the burden of his
Being the
gift,
greatest. Right.
his
Being the
art,
greatest. Yes.
his contribution that he wanted to share with the world. He wanted, like, listen to his songs. He wanted to make the world a better place. You know, a lot of some people have that type of bend in them that they have a mission and they have a personal mission that they probably never spoke to anybody else about.
Right.
But they feel like they have a mission to change the world with their music. And that can be a very weighty place for someone of great genius like Michael Jackson. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think one of the guys in BTS is the same way. I'm not gonna say which one, but I think he carries that same type of genius in him.
I think the one you might be referring to is RM.
So I'm not going to say who I think it is.
Right, right.
I don't want to.
But I get what you're saying. I know exactly.
I don't want to do any comparisons because that's another thief of genius, comparing yourself to someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but in all honesty, Prism, as I was again looking at them and watching some of their live shows and their live tours that they did, and looking at the crowd and how some of the opened up, I would have to say I thought about Michael Jackson in some of the ways his show opened up. So I think maybe these guys, in a lot of ways, without saying it, I think they are paying some homage to Michael Jackson through dance, through their showmanship and the way they opened up shows. So again, this was something Michael Jackson fought in silence with himself. You know, the industry is a cheat, and I'm going to show you. I'm not going to say it out loud. I'll just keep doing better and better music that you can't deny me. But in this case, he was denied. And to me, that's the look of, damn, they did it to me again on his face.
Yeah, that's a serious look right there. That's almost painful to even imagine, to put so much work in something. And to not feel that type of reward back. It's an investment of your spirit and your soul and your emotions, your mind, your intellect. When I'm writing, everything that I write, my passions, everything is in those letters, everything that I write. So I can imagine that if I was someone like that, and everything about my music is an investment. You heard, I think Lionel Richie brought up maybe like a month or a couple of months back how, and I didn't think it was, I thought it was in poor taste, but he was like, Michael Jackson would be so invested in doing his music that he wouldn't even take a shower sometime. And I can almost imagine that type of investment into your music, and then somebody slap you in the face and let you know that, hey, it wasn't that great. And I'm not taking away from you. Is it U2? U2?
Yeah, U2.
Okay, I'm not taking away from them either because they probably felt the same type of investment. But there's probably.
Well, I know what you're right, and I think with this one, Bono was kind of like, everybody was talking about him for some reason or the other. The Joshua Tree was supposed to be this album that transcended, that was supposed to be for everybody. So to me, the Joshua Tree was more of a hyped album. I can only remember one song that came off of that of any prevalence, and that was Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. But we can go back to Bad, and it's loaded with hits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a deep a deep water.
Yeah,
I think that's the Mariana Trench. Like straight down.
Straight to the bottom, because I'm
baby,
sure.
like that's a hard.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
It is, I just think I don't want to take away from any artist because, whereas right now we're making AI music, and everything sounds kind of alike. And when you have real artists who are putting their whole soul into doing lyrics and finding the arrangements, taking things in, putting other things in it and taking stuff out, getting other people's points of view, and to come out with a top album and selling all over the world. And then somebody tells you, the buck stops here. You're not welcome to be the album of the year, no matter what. But you can go over to this room where this category because you look really good, and this is where you fit.
Right, and you look like them, and you fit right in.
Right,
and you'll fit right in.
And Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, just the movie recently and everything, he transcends time.
Always will.
That type of genius transcends time. And it hasn't just transcends time with my parents, my grandparents. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, folks will be listening to Michael Jackson 50 years from now.
Yeah, and now, my age group and kids and elementary, my nieces and my nephews, and I'm like, come on. This is kind of like that thing now where it's like he's been gone for years and now it's almost like he's alive again. And that is what music does. That's exactly what music does.
Absolutely. Certainly does. Certainly does. It brings you, as I always say, it takes you to where you've been and reminds you of where you want to go. That's what music does. Sure does. Transcends everything. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for me to get up out of here. I got to shout out to BTS for bringing this to the forefront again. Whether you're into K-pop, whether you're into R&B, whether you're into A-pop or light rock or whatever, smooth jazz or whatever, these artists, minus the AI artists that just type it in with a prompt, but these artists, they deserve that recognition. And this, to me, this is what I thought the Grammys was made for, to celebrate their greatness, but not to celebrate where they came from, not to celebrate their color, but it's to celebrate their music. Music transcends everything, everybody, everyone, every color. So,
are you boycotting?
The Grammys? Yeah, I haven't watched the Grammys in a while.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Grammys in quite some time. I think it's been probably since the early 2000s when I watched the Grammys. Early 2000s. I think that's the last time I watched it. But again, so with that, Prism, I'll leave any last words for you.
Yeah, I think I've pretty much said everything. I would appreciate you so much for collabing on this, and of course I wouldn't want to do it anybody else because I know of your vast understanding and understanding of the history of music, in which I appreciate. So thank you to everybody for supporting. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know. Hey, can somebody ask me, where are these jewels coming from? I see these jewels. What are they?
I don't know, but I like them.
Yeah, I like them.
It's free stuff you get when you chatting.
I know, Miss ABT for joining us. I appreciate you.
Girl, listen, y'all should have had me sit my black ass down. I told you, because I didn't know this was a collab. I wouldn't have even came up with what I was coming up with, honestly. But no, this was a good.
No, that's not what I meant by, anybody was welcome to join. Anybody.
Right.
We didn't care.
No, I got it. But girl, I would definitely. I started with unbiased. I don't,
I always enjoy you anyway. I always enjoy you.
She said, Mr. Music, you up here talking about Asian folks today? What the hell?
What the hell is going on here? I was ready for a roundup. I ain't gonna,
No,
you got to let me know about these things in advance, sir. So I know how to behave.
Sometimes there is a method to my madness. I know sometimes the road might be a little bumpy, but we get to it sooner or later. We definitely get to it.
No, but this was a good conversation. I'm glad that y'all entertained my thoughts and comments. And I wish those young fellas luck. Let's see how they make out.
Yeah. Well,
maybe this is a publicity stunt. We don't know. We don't know.
I don't think they would ever. Let me say this. They would never. They don't need. Let me tell you something. I think like maybe an hour ago. Let me tell you something, Miss ABT. These men do not get 1 minute of peace in their home personal lives.
Nope.
When they leave from Korea to go to another country, if they need to go perform, they're in the airport waiting for them. Like, in America, you're not going to do that here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to do it. You go abroad, it's a little different. They don't wait in the airports when they're coming and going. They're outside their homes. They're trying to find out who they're dating.
Lord.
Whereas in America, so-and-so is dating this person. So-and-so is married. Like, if you live in LA, you see stuff all the time. You don't care. You understand what I'm saying? But these men, oh, girl, if you find out, I would feel sorry for anybody that would have to, like, keep your life. Like, I'm private. Like, I would not like that at all. So,
I couldn't handle it.
Yeah, but like I said, anyway, thanks, Mr. Music. Thanks, Miss ABT and everyone.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, y'all.
Thank you so very much. I think our next live will be this Saturday. ABT, if you're available, Sean would like to do a stream. We're talking about Delano Squires, and Prism, you're more than welcome to come back, and we're going to recover that marriage thing again.
King Coon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Did I say Cancun? Yeah.
No, we're not going to Cancun. We're going to talk about the King Coon. I mean, yeah, him. Okay. So with that, this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, if you're inclined to, please come on back. Please like, share, and subscribe. I want to ask you for your kookadookers. And if you do decide to do something, you can go over to Autism Speaks and type in DJ Music or Stevie Music and make a donation in my name. Those folks at Autism Speaks will be so grateful to you for that. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Friday night, Saturday, Thursday, Classic R&B Jams. We got DJ Dreadhead Said and DJ Ed with some house music for you. Friday, DJ Jeff Daniels, and I'll be live on Sunday nights. Until then, watch your 3, your 6, and your 9, because we got to go. We out here.